my example isn't just about Copilot. It actually, I used Copilot inside of Microsoft Stream, which is Microsoft's video hosting platform, kind of like YouTube for Microsoft, and then Teams for communicating with Michelle and other constituents. Now, what happened was I got a note from our president. He said, "Hey, Jason," that's Josh. Michelle's the other person, in case that's not clear to everybody. Josh says, "Hey, we just got out of a meeting with one of our clients. Michelle did a really, really good job of kind of laying out sort of a path that the client could get herself on to really start just even beginning to ask the right questions about Copilot." And I want you to go watch that because I think there's something to it. So I went to go watch it, and he was right. There was something to it. But that's not what this example is about. In this example, I saw something different. In this example, I saw a story that he told that really resonated, that Josh told that really seemed to resonate with this particular client. So first thing I do is pop open Copilot. I open it inside of Stream, by the way. I don't have to go anywhere else. And then I asked it to recap the meeting. It gave me a recap. And then you can see in the recap, what I really like about this feature, about using it here, is that you can see there's a timestamp in the video where it's showing me the recap. Right. And so I was able to go there and then rewatch it. But so inventory management challenges, that's the story I was looking for. And then I went, okay, so then I asked it, okay, it really seemed to resonate with the client. Can you give some detail there? And then it gave me this, right? So I'm able to triangulate that, yes, Josh told an amazing story and it really resonated with the client. So then I asked it, okay, can you please summarize and retell that story that Josh told? And when I hit the send button, now I know I'm outside of the view of what it really looks like, and I'm sorry, but I wanted you to see everything. And you can see it wrote me kind of the outline format story that Josh told, right? He talked about inventory management, he talked about data integration, accessibility, use of how AI can be making more efficient, and then kind of painted a future vision, right? So that's pretty good. Now the blue, we want to make sure to protect the innocents. We're blocking everybody out here. Okay, so then I'm asking Copilot to pretend with me, right? So let's say all the systems are connected. This is something that Copilot can do that I think is amazing. Like it can imagine with me, which is kind of cool. Let's tell this story if all the systems are connected and how Copilot could just really streamline this whole thing. I hit send, and it gives me a story. And you can see the story is a big old distributor calls a sales rep at a winery and says, "Hey, I want to place an order for a huge number of cases." Ordinarily, that takes a lot of time to figure out if you even have the cases. You want to know if the distributor has paid their bills, so on and so forth. But in the Copilot world, all of this happens with just 2 questions to Copilot, and everything that needs to happen to arm the sales rep with yes, we have those cases, but wait a minute, they haven't paid their bill. So you want to make sure you negotiate some better terms, right? So that story's all right there. So what I did next then was narrow Copilot. I don't want Copilot to write it as just anything. I want Copilot to write it. I want it to take on the role of a copywriter and write me a story that tells this, retell this story according to copywriting best practices. This now allows me to tell it to use specific headlines or play with headlines, play with bullet points, play with structure, use a pre-head, so on and so forth. So I do that, and it gives me the beginnings of a pretty good story. And I'm not going to detail the whole story here. Now, what happened next was it's just me back and forth with it in Copilot, just kind of iterating and working with my copywriter now. And what I ended up with is this email that I sent to Michelle. And it's an email that could be sent out on behalf of some of our account managers that leads off with, what if managing your winery was as simple as asking a question? And then it goes through to kind of outline a specific problem that wineries that work with distributors might have, and how Copilot could just make that whole thing so much easier and say, hey, if it's of interest to you, let's set up some time to talk. This whole process, it took me longer to watch the video than it took me to walk through this and get to Michelle with a piece of content that we expect would be pretty useful to our winery clients.